You're not alone. Ask for the legal help you need. Call Gary and the team at GQ Law 855 500 Trust or go online and download Gary's free ebooks and videos. Read Gary's blogs. Call or click to request your free consultation or to talk with a member of the GQ team. That's gqlaw.com 855.
You are live.
Right. Hey, welcome to Word on Wealth. Happy Friday, everybody. It is Finding Joy Friday. And to do
Do you
that,
know who we have on the line, Mr. Gary?
I have on the line the ambassador of joy. It's Finding Joy Friday, and I think we have found him. It's Barry Shore. Hey, Barry.
He's in his secret, undisclosed, secret agent 00 Joy base. Barry, how are you?
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people, to all the thousands, tens of thousands of people listening. So wonderful, Gary Noah. How can I make the categorical statement that everybody that's listening are all good-looking? Because by definition, as they tuned into Word on Wealth, it means they're always looking for and finding the good in life. That's a good-looking person, looking for and finding the good.
I love Barry's play on words. It's so awesome. Barry, okay, a couple things. Now, the reason we have you on today as the ambassador of joy on our Finding Joy Fridays here on the Word on Wealth is because there have been some really exciting, destabilizing, crazy things in this world. And that is like banks going under and having world record losses and all that stuff. And I thought, Noah, we've got to get Barry on to talk us through and say, what do we do? Do we ignore it? Do we deal with it? How do we deal with these crazy things in the news so that we don't worry about the future and be depressed about the past? Help us out, Barry.
So first of all, thank you for the opportunity to address these very important and to be remarked upon issues. I'm going to make a categorical statement, and I think it's going to shift a lot of people's thinking right away. You ready?
Yes.
These things are not news, because news implies NEW, new. This is the world. The world is built on turbulence. It is incumbent upon us as awakened, enlightened, loving beings to recognize the positive, the personal, the powerful, and the pleasant amidst the turmoil, because we are God-centered people. And when you're God-centered, you realize that the swirling around you is there only to distract. And there have always been difficulties in financial markets. There have always been malign players in the world. In this case, two of the biggest nations in the world are joining forces with one of the most disruptive and despicable groups in the world called Iran. And so, yes, is the world more fraught with danger today than it was 3 weeks ago or 6 months ago or a year or two? Okay, that's true. However, we know, KNOW, for a fact, that these are all part of the mirage that wants to disturb us. And the key of living successfully, to be sane in a seemingly unsane world or insane world, is to focus on the reality of God.
Wonderful. We can do that.
Thank you. May I give you a couple of words that I've been working on just before I was thinking of coming on? I wanted to talk about, it's interesting. I wrote down two words. One is sanity, and the other is to be sane. And I have an acronym for each. May I share?
Absolutely.
So to be sane in a somewhat insane world, and again, it's really no different throughout history. Okay, we're in the midst of some more upheaval than, let's say, a year or two or three, but that's the world. So to be sane stands for SANE, means to have self-awareness nobly expressed. See, it's not enough to just be sane. You really want to be sharing that sanity without getting on a soapbox and wagging your finger and preaching, but to live In other words, self-awareness, nobly expressed. And the way to nobly express it is to smile at people, to say their names, to be an uplifting presence in the world, to speak about wealth, no matter what's going on, because wealth is driven by your mental process. Am I correct on that, Gary?
Absolutely. Yep. Wealth
So
is a
that's
state of
saying.
enoughness. If you feel like you have enough, you are wealthy in whatever conditions, whether it's financially, mentally, spiritually. Wealth is the state of enoughness.
Wow. That's why people love it. That's, by the way, the name of your show. Wow.
That's right.
Word,
That's right.
word on wealth. And when we're talking about word, let's be, amongst us, we can be biblical because that's our listening audience.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not incorrect, right?
You are correct.
So when we talk about word, we're not talking about just letters in an alphabet. We're talking about word that emanates from the source of all goodness, from the source of creation. So whether we're talking about a word that's coming from Proverbs or Psalms, the biblical analogies, these are fundamental to our ability to not just be sane, but to bring sanity to the world. So I'm going to give you an acronym for sanity, if I may.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Sanity, S-A-N-I-T-Y, seeking, and that's, by the way, a critical aspect of what we're talking about right now. To be a seeker is an important aspect of life. So seeking awareness, nurturing, again, another biblical opportunity of understanding that things take time and you plant seeds and you have the right conditions. So nurturing insights, which is what we're talking about right now, transformation, because that's really the key of life. It's called a shift in perspective. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And the last word is wisely. Now, I can hear some people in your audience right away saying, wait a minute, Barry Shore, that last letter in sanity is a Y. Yes, but we're using it as the sound, the automatopoeia, rather than the letter itself. So it's seeking awareness, nurturing insights, transformation wisely. How do you like that?
That's wonderful. That's your word of the day.
Mm.
Word of your day, Word on Wealth listeners here on Finding Joy Friday, seeking awareness, nurturing insights, transformation wisely, sanity. Perfect. Love it. I always become wiser on Fridays with Barry, the ambassador of joy, the sharer of wisdom, and the guy that inspires at all times. It's like, they say if you're trying to get physically in shape or whatever, if you lift weights and you do some like resistance training, that even when the training is over, your body benefits from it for a long, long time. It just it's great for you. And with Barry, it's not just hey, come and yell at us and, be all excited. It's like Barry leaves us stuff that helps our minds and our spirits continue to work and grow and be stronger long after the show. And we love Barry because of that.
And love is, of course, our glue word, because love stands for living on vibrant energy. We're not just here. We are vibrating energy. That's our whole existence. And when that energy is directed throughout us, by definition, it emanates. You can feel love, right?
Yes. Barry, talking about vibrant energy, how far have you swam? Last time we talked, you gave a number on how far you have swam so far in your quest to swim all around the
He's got
world.
60 seconds to do it, or maybe we'll have to hold it till after the break.
Why don't we hold till after the break? Because we just went through, not hit, we went through a milestone. So let's do it right after the break. How's that?
Absolutely. So we got that coming up, you guys, right after we take a really brief pause. For station identification. I've always wanted to say that because when I was a kid, it was always like, and we're pausing now for station identification.
Take a pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause. So we got Barry Shore, the Ambassador of Joy, who is our guest today here on the Word on Wealth. It's our Finding Joy Friday. And just happens to be that Barry Shore is the Ambassador of Joy. So how appropriate on Finding Joy Friday. When the thing we're going to talk about next is Barry is on a quest to swim around the world. And he's getting there. And I can't believe we're going to talk about the numbers and what he's up to. Also, we must, and I promised you that we would talk about Shift Happens, Barry's book. And we're going to talk about that coming up next year on the Word on Wealth. You're listening to the Word on Wealth. If you want to have any of your questions answered by me, that doesn't have to do with like the stuff we're talking about today. If you want to call my office, the number is 855-500-TRUST. Remember to go to my website to get my free stuff. Barry has a website that has free stuff too. It's Barry Shore, BarryShore.com/ebook. And you can get his book for free, his ebook for free. And if you want it from me, I will send you the book, literally the paperback. You got to go to my website and ask for it on the contact form, and I will send you a free copy of his paperback book. This is Gary Quackenbush and Barry Shore on Finding Joy Friday here on the Word on Wealth. We'll be right back in a moment.
You've got questions. We've got answers. This is the Word on Wealth with Gary Quackenbush of GQ Law. Gary's here to give you peace of mind with expert estate planning, trust administration, inheritance, and probate. Call Gary to build, protect, and transfer your wealth. 855-500-TRUST. GQLaw.com.
Gary, your team at GQ Law are experts at solving state tax problems. Talk about that.
When people have a tax problem, it tends to really stress them out. And one of the things we've been able to do is figure out how to resolve tax problems. One thing we might be doing is setting up a payment plan or getting a collection delay, maybe getting a determination that the person shouldn't have to pay the taxes at all. We do offers and compromise. We do audit reconsiderations. And one of the things that's a really powerful tool that some people don't recognize is sometimes bankruptcy can be used to actually eliminate taxes when there's certain conditions of the code that are met. So we can do all kinds of things after we analyze your situation. We can figure out what's available, discuss your options, and figure out which ones to implement, what it's going to cost, how long it's going to take. And we can get people out from under all kinds of tax problems so they can sleep again. That's our goal.
Request your free initial consultation. GQLaw.com. 855-500-TRUST. GQLaw.com.
Get ready for spring at Dixieline, where the savings are in full bloom on everything you need to help grow a healthy garden and keep it pest-free. From soils and fertilizers, weed preventers and garden tools, to the garden boxes and planters to grow in.
Every yard needs the Works 12-inch cordless string trimmer and the 20-volt cordless turbine yard blower to keep it trimmed and free of debris. Both are on sale at Dixieline.
Save $40 to $60 on Cedar Craft elevated planter boxes, perfect for patios, balconies, and backyard gardening.
Kellogg's 20-pound bag of Grow Power Plus all-purpose fertilizer with soil penetrant, designed for difficult soil conditions, is only $18. Save $10 at Dixieline.
In a hurry and short on time? Now at Dixieline, you can buy what you need online and pick up your order in store. Just visit Dixieline.com. Saving time has never been so easy.
For spring savings and more, it's Dixieline Lumber and Home Centers.
Tell a friend about this broadcast outreach, The Word on Wealth, with Gary Quackenbush of GQ Law. Call or click to request your free initial consultation or to talk with a member of the team. Call Gary at 855-500-TRUST. GQLaw.com.
Live.
Welcome to Finding Joy Friday on the Word on Wealth with Gary Quackenbush and the Ambassador of Joy, Barry Shore. All right, Barry, we got a lot to cover, man. You've got, tell us about your swimming and how that is going. That's unbelievable. Tell us about your swimming. Tell us about the book we got coming up.
So let's do the following. First of all, everything that we hear from Gary and Noah and hopefully Barry is believable, fully believable. So some people may remember, I'll just tell very quickly in the thumbnail sketch. Suffice to say, on September 17, 2004, I was standing up in the morning, completely healthy. In the evening, I was in the hospital, completely, totally paralyzed, my neck down, not for an automobile accident or a spinal injury, a rare disease. Now, let's fast forward. It took me a few years of getting aquatic therapy. And one day I put my arms over my head and I began swimming on a backstroke, and now move forward a bit. And then after doing a mile one day, I started to do that regularly. Now I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. And as of, let me see, this is March 17th. As of March 14th, 2023, almost 16 years of swimming, I have just passed the 9,000 mile mark.
Pretty incredible.
Way around the world.
Wow, that's incredible. So
actually fully credible. But here's where it gets fun for me, because remember, I'm the ambassador of joy. We'll tell people what joy means in just a moment. But I found for me personally a very powerful acronym for the word swim, because that's what I do. I swim, swam, slum. SWIM stands for Studying Wisdom Inspires Miracles.
I like that one, Gary.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
By studying wisdom, I'm inspiring miracles, and obviously to the world, it is miraculous. It is to me as well, that not only did my body move, and I still have to use adaptive devices. I have special flotation devices on my legs so that they don't sink. So otherwise I couldn't swim. They'd just be dragging. And I wear paddles because my fingers don't close. And I use a snorkel because it's more than difficult for me to turn my head left to right and do the breathing and such. But suffice it to say, I'm in the water for 2 hours at a time. Just keep on doing it.
wow.
And
I know I asked you on my show, we recorded it yesterday, Barry, but let's talk about the WOW audience here. Has anything transpired with good friend Michael Phelps?
so the simple answer is yes, we are progressing. I'm waiting to get the phone call from the Phelps Foundation. I'm in touch with them, and I've made proposals to show that with working with Michael, we'll not only swim around the world, but we'll raise millions of dollars for mental wellness. I'm a mental wellness advocate. I am consumed by helping people remove the stigma, and as is Michael. So it's a matter of just putting everything in place. And then with Michael and myself, we're recruiting a number of other people. Everybody will swim 2 miles a day for basically 42 miles a month. And in 1 year, all of us together will add into my 9,000. We'll swim around the world, raise millions of dollars, raise awareness, have a lot of fun, and create something, a tsunami of goodness. So it's moving ahead. Anybody knows Michael Phelps more personally than I do, please reach out and say, hello, let's do this.
And Gary and Barry, Barry, this is something that the world needs right now with all the bad news. We talked about at the beginning of the show, a tsunami of goodness is needed now more than ever.
Yes,
Yeah.
couldn't agree with you more.
Well,
It's really, really important.
that's why, I'm sorry.
No, that's why we have you on, man. Keep talking.
Well, the reason I mentioned, and thank you for talking about it, wonderful Noah, is I sat down and I pushed myself to write a book that I've been wanting to do for a while. And I said, because I need to do it and the world needs to do it. So it's called OH Shift, SHIFT. And we use Scrabble tiles on the cover of the book. And the F is a little bit below the line, because I can tell you, I've been working with people for more than 4 decades and helping people and guiding people, including myself, of course. And I can tell you, 97.2% of all people I've ever worked with drop the F in shift until they really learn how to do it. And the other stuff happens. You got to be effing careful with your Fs. And so the book is coming out, God willing, in May, and you'll be able to get a copy for free because it's underwritten by some wonderful people. Electronically, you'll get it for free. And again, just if you go to my website now, barryshore.com/ebook, as Gary mentioned, you can get a copy of my current book, The Joy of Living, as an ebook for free. You can get it from Gary as the physical book for free by going to his site. But O Shift is about transformation. It's not about inspiration, which people like, but let's be blunt, after a little bit of time, it sort of wears away unless you join the Joy of Living community, which is coming out actually in April. Isn't that interesting? Maybe we'll have me back and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of information in the world. The matter of fact, it's IO, information overload. And there's a lot of ways to get inspiration. I mean, you got to be able to maintain it. But really what people want, in my opinion, is transformation. They want to make that shift. And we're talking about something actually quite small and simple. But that's why I wrote the book, to talk about strategies and how to do it, so that it becomes part of your very being. As we said before, when we talk about, I'm the ambassador of joy. So people think, nice open arm and hear that voice and such. But the important thing is the acronym for joy. Joy stands for Journey of You. Journey of You. This is not about Barry Shore. It's not about Noah or Gary. It's about you. You becoming the best you possible, because the world needs your energy, your input, your ability to transform it. Just a little bit of a shift. Keep that F in there. And then stuff happens. We make the world a better place. It's a tsunami of goodness.
Thank you so much for everything that you do. It's thrilling actually that you take the time. And I do know that when we asked you to come on today, there were other things that you had scheduled and you moved things around. And it really warms my heart, because we really are trying to pass the joy along, and we're trying to help people understand. I mean, the word unwealth, it's a money show. We talk about estate planning and wealth planning and real estate and mortgages and taxes and all that. But it's like, we get a lot of that. And this is like you're saying, we get a lot of things to think about and inspiration, a lot of things to read, but then the transformation where it becomes part of your soul, it becomes what you are, who you are, and how you act. It isn't something you have to keep thinking about. Oh gosh, how am I going to be nice? How am I going to smile? You do it. Now, I know you have cards that tell people to smile. It's like to remind us. And then once we get it ingrained in our heads, we have done that transformation. I am so excited about getting your book. And as soon as it comes out, I'm going to order a bunch of them, and I'm going to start giving away on our show, on our Finding Joy Fridays. I think it's fantastic.
Hey, Gary, I just want to interrupt real quickly, because
Yes.
it's a stat that I think is worth mentioning before we reach the end of the show. Barry, again, was on my show recording yesterday, and he gave a stat that I think is pretty important, talking about these smile cards that you can get electronically, or you can get them sent out at barryshore.com, and share a smile there at the top. Barry, give us the stat again of how many lives, and I mean this literally, how many lives have been saved because of these smile cards?
We know of 27 people that did not commit suicide. Did not commit suicide. They've written telling we didn't, because somebody either gave them a card or they found it on the street. One of the people found it in their trash. But that's the people we know about. And I am confident that there's probably 5 to 10 times that number that just didn't communicate it. But yes, this saves lives.
They are invaluable.
When you smile at somebody, it saves a life. It does. Even if they're not thinking of suicide, you're giving life to people. It's better than
90 seconds.
on a hot day.
Barry, what you do is incredible. I believe it.
I hope it's credible.
And it's just, it's so fun. I don't know. It's funny. I'm just kind of sitting here. I know I'm kind of like, I'm supposed to be interviewing Barry, but I'm just letting Barry go, because you're just an inspiration to so many people. And we stress out. And I love kind of going back to the beginning of the show. We started this because all you have to do is turn on the radio on any station, go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go anywhere, and everybody is talking about these bank collapses. And, with me in the financial industry, it's like, whoa, the parent company of, Silicon Valley Bank filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with 3.3 billion with a B dollars in debt that's being reorganized. And I know exactly what that means. I've done Chapter 11 bankruptcies. It's like all this stuff that you just like go, oh my gosh, are my investments safe? Is my retirement safe? Is all that? And then your perspective is so wonderful, is that we focus on God. We know that all this stuff, all the swirling, all this news is to distract us. Stay focused on God. Self-awareness nobly expressed. You guys were talking about shift and getting into this stuff and really understanding and having this transformation. Barry Shore, Ambassador of Joy, thank you so much for being on the show today. You guys, barryshore.com, go there, get his books, get connected, follow him. He's incredible. It will save your life and others.
Share a smile.
Share a smile, everybody. Thanks, Barry. Thank you, Noah. Have a good
Best
weekend, everybody.
wishes. Enjoy.
Tell a friend.
Hey, man, I'll text you. I'm going to wrap up with
Quackenbush, an expert in estate planning, wills and trusts, and tax problem solving. Gary is past president of the California Society of Tax Consultants. Reach out to us. The Word on Wealth team of financial experts is here to answer your questions and help preserve your family's financial future.
The information you hear on the Word on Wealth is for general information purposes only. This program discusses general financial and legal topics. Seek legal advice from a competent lawyer for your individual legal needs. The